What up, Homedawgs? My name is Gokey Gamer, and welcome everybody to the very first week of the PUDL Luxury Ball Division, where this week Milwaukee Medichams are going to be taking on none other than Coach Jakeeb, coach of the Baltimore Bergmites. I am super stoked to be taking on Jakeeb for the first time ever, as during the drafting process, we actually bonded quite a bit, talking about our picks, talking about other people's picks, and once the schedule was released, we both had the exact same reaction, being hyped up and extremely terrified that we were our first opponent. We have got a very tough game ahead for both of us, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the team breakdown. Now, remember back in the NBBL when I talked about having to battle one of the fastest teams I'd ever seen? Well, multiply that by 100 for this game because a whole 8 of Jakeeb's Pokemon out of 12 are above the base 100 speed tier or matching it. Jakeeb has got a really fire team with the mons Enamorus-Incarnate, Scizor, a Flygon that can turn into a ground, steel, and normal type, Tentacruel, Ogerpon Cornerstone, Ambipom, Bellibolt, Cryogonal, Mismagius, Paldean Tauros, and finally a Crocalor that can turn into a fire, fairy, or water type. I remember seeing this team come together during the drafting process and being terrified at their first 3 picks. Chi-Yu, Enamorus, and Scizor provide such a terrifying offensive core that is supported extremely well with both of their Terra Captains and mons like Bellibolt and Tentacruel. In terms of what I'm expecting to come, I'm thinking it's going to be Bellibolt, Chi-Yu, Flygon, Crocalor, Cryogonal, and Terrakion or Tentacruel. Those Pokemon in particular have a really scary matchup versus me in my opinion, and I'm expecting this game to be one of the hardest matchups for us this season. However, I think we've got an extremely fun team that could take advantage of some of Jakeeb's weaknesses, so let's go ahead and get into what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. The first Pokemon we're bringing is a Pokemon I'm extremely excited to see pop off, Minnesota the Berserker. Holding the Life Orb, being Terra Steel, and having the ability Steely Spirit, I think you can tell what this set is meant to do. Rocking the max attack and special defense EVs with the Brave Nature and the moves Iron Head, Knock Off, Close Combat, and Dig, this set is meant to just calm in and nuke everything going up against it. Now, I know you're probably curious about the Brave Nature and the 0 speed IVs I'm running on this set, and well, I'm pleased to show off our next pick, Slowking the Jester, to make it all clear. Holding the Lagging Tail this week with the ability Regenerator, we're rocking the max HP and special defense and the moves Scald, Future Sight, Trick Room, and Chilly Reception. Yup, we're bringing Trick Room week 1, baby! Not gonna lie, I'm extremely excited for this team since I really wanted to bring Trick Room at some point this season, and now I can say that I did. It's also worth mentioning that every Pokemon, minus my last ring, is running 0 IVs in speed for this game, so nearly every Pokemon on this team benefits heavily from Trick Room. This set is pretty standard, 2 stab moves, Chilly Reception for pivoting, and setting up the snow for certain Pokemon you'll see later, as well as the Lagging Tail to ensure that we'll always move last, so that when we switch out, we don't have to worry about another Pokemon being forced to tank too much damage on the switch. I really hope this set allows mons like Berserker to really pop off, as it would be so cool to see Berserker just nuke everything my opponent wants to throw at it. Next up to help support both Berserker and Slowking is none other than Stax the Galarian Weezing. Holding the Black Sludge this week, we've got the ability Misty Surge, Max HP and Special Defense, and the moves Clear Smog, Flamethrower, Memento, and Strange Steam. This set is another fairly standard set. Clear Smog gets rid of any stat buffs, Flamethrower is there specifically for Scizor, Strange Steam is there for stab, and Memento is there for momentum purposes, hopefully weakening something down enough for another Pokemon to come in for free and just decimate something. I'm also rocking the Misty Surge this week over Levitate because of another Pokemon really benefiting from this terrain. Not much else needs to be said, but it does feel good to have Stax back on the team. The next Pokemon we'll be talking about is none other than the return of mixed attacking Steampunk the Volcanion. Holding the Expert Belt this week, we're going crazy with the max attack and max special attack with the moves Steam Eruption, Overheat, Earthquake, and Heavy Slam. This set really works thanks to Trick Room since I've also lowered my speed IVs. It is worth noting, however, that I'm not able to underspeed Bellibolt, so Bellibolt will be faster in Trick Room if it comes. Steam Eruption and Overheat are obvious stab rings, Earthquake 2-hit KOs, a max specially defensive Bellibolt, and Steam Eruption 2 shots a physically defensive set, and Heavy Slam can nearly OHKO on an Enamorus Therian. This set is meant to just claim lives this week, similar to Berserker, and I really do think it's got a very good chance of doing so. Next up on the team is the Pokemon that benefits from both Misty Terrain and Snow, Husk the Kyurem, my beloved. Holding the Wide Lens this week to help out with our less accurate moves, this set is extremely similar to with Volcanion, with near max attack and max special attack, minimum speed, and the moves Freeze Dry, Stone Edge, Focus Blast, and Earth Power. Freeze Dry is powerful stab that can 2-shot a max HP Tentacruel. Stone Edge 1-shots both Chi-Yu and Enamorus. Focus Blast 2-shots max HP Scizor, and 1-shots an offensive Terra Steel or normal Flygon. And Earth Power 2-shots max HP Bellibolt. This set is once again very standard. All we gotta do is click a button and decimate something. And last up, but certainly not least on this team, is none other than the Pokemon that actually manages to outspeed every Pokemon on Jakeeb's team, Dig 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 and the Doug Trio. Holding the Focus Sash to guarantee live any hit needed from potential Scarfers, this week we're rocking in the Max Attack and Speed, the Arena Trap to help trap opponents in against me, alongside the moves Earthquake, Night Slash, Memento, and Endeavor. Earthquake is self-explanatory, a powerful stab move. Night Slash is there for Cryogonal, Flygon, and Miss Magnus, and also because I forgot Throw Chop existed. Memento is there for the same reason as Wheezing, and Endeavor is there just in case I'm able to heavily chip something like Flygon down considerably before ultimately going down. I wanted to make sure I had an out in case Trick Room didn't work, and Doug Trio actually looks phenomenal in this matchup, especially for trapping and 1v1ing Chi-Yu and Bellibolt, two major threats versus my team. And that's the team I'm bringing for week 1 of the PUDL. I'm very nervous for this fight, as not only can this type of team be extremely difficult to pull off, but I have no idea how well these Pokemon will work together. Hopefully we'll be able to come out on top and prevent the week 1 curse from taking hold of us. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and blop into the battle. Hey y'all, so before getting started with this battle, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. For the first week of battles, I was actually on vacation, and as a result, I was unable to record my actual battle versus Jakeeb. However, he's actually allowed me to use his footage for this video, which I am extremely grateful for. Please be sure to check out Jakeeb down in the description below. He's just a fantastic guy. He's been nothing but kind to me behind the scenes, and he's just a fantastic dude, and I can't wait to see his content moving forward in this league. He really does deserve all of the support. However, as a result of me not having my own gameplay, I also don't have my own live commentary, which would be fine because normally I would do post-commentary, but I'm going to be honest, I just don't have time to script this battle out. As of recording this, I literally have to upload this tomorrow to stay on my schedule in terms of uploading everything on time. I also have way too much work that I have to worry about that I can't justify spending enough time working on this script for this video. However, that does not mean that you will not get anything from me. Instead of the post-commentary, I'm just going to be live commentating my decision. I'm going to watch the battle back with you guys and just talk about my thought process during the battle as to the best of my ability to remember and go from there. I'll also still be editing things down so that way it's not just moments of silence throughout and all that stuff still flows nicely. But this makes it so that I can actually get this video out for you guys to enjoy on time and I can catch up on everything else that I need to do in real life. This will not become a weekly occurrence, as not only will I be able to record my battles moving forward, but I will also, starting next week, have more time to actually work on these videos and this content for you guys to enjoy. After this week, I'll be implementing the same commentary and editing style that I have for the MBBL, which is a mix of post and live commentary. So if you enjoy that, then you are definitely in for a treat. I apologize that I didn't have time to actually make a post-commentary script for this video, but I hope you guys enjoy this battle regardless because there's some pretty crazy stuff that happens. Anyways, with all that being said, now let's go ahead and whop into the battle. And we are back. Hello, it is your boy. I'm sure as you just saw, you guys understand what's going on. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into this game. So as you can tell, this is my opponent's team. We are watching my opponent's side of the battle. Again, thank you so much to Jakeeb for letting me borrow your footage for this video. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, so overall, this is a very terrifying team. Flygon, Chi-Yu, Enamorus, Tentacruel, Scizor, and the Terrakion. I am very excited not to see the Bellibolt here. That was by far the biggest threat that I thought was actually going to come, because Bellibolt on paper just looks really solid into my team. However, I do have to keep in mind that I am pretty scared of a Terrakion. Obviously, I don't know this full team. I'm also not listening to Jakeeb's commentary right now, so if you guys want to listen to Jakeeb's commentary, then definitely be sure to check out their video on this game as well. But yeah, so overall, I'm very nervous for this game. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and blop to the actual battle. So first up, in terms of what we lead, I lead Volcanion because it has just the most solid, like just general, it can hit anything that wants to come in hard. vibe to it, and then my opponent leads Flygon, which is not really the most ideal. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I really do need to get better about figuring out my leads and becoming a lot better with my leads. By the way, this is a really fire Flygon set. But yes, I decide to risk the Earth Power and stay in, and I end up taking a massive chunk with Steampunk as I fire off a Steam Eruption. This kind of made me wish a little bit that I brought Levitate Weezing, so that way I could just switch Weezing back in for free. And hindsight in 2020, that probably would have been able to completely wall this set. Which would have been really cool to see. I'm pretty sure the Terra is normal from what I can tell. My opponent's just going to try to fire it off again, assuming now probably that my Weezing is no longer levitating. Or not no longer, but just never did. So in retaliation, I send out the Jester to hopefully take this incoming Earth Power a little bit better, which I do very nicely. This should have been my play in the first place. I could have possibly even led this Pokemon and just fired off a Chilly Reception or a Trick Room. Hindsight is 2020. You know, you live and you learn. So after this, my opponent goes for a U-turn, which does a decent chunk of damage, and then they switch out into, I can't really remember what, and I think this is where I first reveal Trick Room. I think, if I remember correctly, Enamorus comes in, which being choice specs is very terrifying. It could also be Scizor. Scizor could also very well come in here. I legitimately cannot remember what comes in. Something I will say as well, I apologize if I'm a little bit more all over the place during this video, because, yeah, my brain just go crazy, and it's harder for it to keep on track when I don't have a script in front of me. So, hopefully, you know, you guys, that's not too annoying. But yes, Enamorus does come in here with the choice specs, which I don't know at the time, but, you know, it's still very terrifying all on its own. I opt to just straight Chilly Reception out, just because it's the easiest thing for me to do here, and so that way I get that Regenerator, and I believe here, I don't know exactly what I want to switch in against this. I can't remember what I did here. Okay, here is where I switch in Galarian Weezing, just because Galarian Weezing can wall this pretty decently well. Again, it's not perfect, but, you know, it's not horrible either. And they also reveal the Misty Surge here, meaning that, you know, we just prove that we are not Levitate. Again, I do think bringing Misty Surge this game was probably a little bit more of a throw. I think I should have brought Levitate specifically for Flygon. I think I did underestimate Flygon a little bit, so that is something to keep in mind. So my opponent fires off a Psychic, which is going to do a crap ton of damage to me because it is specs, and I am weak to it. I almost straight up get one shot by it. It's about here that I could realize that this thing is specs, but I just don't, and I just didn't expect it to have the Psychic. But it turns out we get lucky, and Enamorus gets confused, and we also reveal that we are the Black Sludge. So again, I don't think I'm really playing that well here. I'm still getting used to my team. I'm still getting used to how my team works, how my team composition works, how to take advantage of my walls and my threats. And that's just kind of a general thing in week 1 for me. I really struggle with that heavily, which is something important to note. Here, I click Memento just because I'm about to die anyways, and I was expecting the Enamorus to just try and pick me off anyways. This was very much a throw. This could have been a throw if my opponent didn't switch out, because if my opponent stayed in with Enamorus and it even hit itself in confusion because of the contrary, it would have gotten to +2 attack and special attack, and we probably straight up would have lost. So, very much a throw on my end that I did that. Again, I'm not making great decisions here. I'm not thinking the most clearly just because I'm still trying to get used to my team. And I think here, Jakeeb's team is really good into me. I think here is where I'm realizing that I had a lot of holes in my prep, and I'm really going to have to bring my A game if I want to make sure that I come out on top. So Enamorus comes back in, and here is a little bit more of a throw. I set up the Trick Room here, and I believe this is the turn where, yes, the snow is still up. I'm unsure if Chilly Reception actually triggers in the snow. I don't have, like, my access to my laptop or anything like that. I didn't want to spend time trying to figure it out and risking not doing the correct move that I want to make on the next turn. So here, I have a very difficult decision whether I want to risk it or not. Here, I don't think I end up risking it, where I 100% should have. I 100% should have clicked Chilly Reception here. There is zero reason for me not to, but unfortunately, I opt to hard swap out here. Again, I really think this was, again, a major mistake. I keep saying again a lot. You get my point. But yes, here is where I make the hard swap, and I believe I swap into Husk, the Kyurem, which is not going to want to take this the best, unfortunately. So Enamorus fires off the Earth Power, and it does a decent chunk. Thankfully, it doesn't two-shot me, but we do lose not only the snow, but also the misty terrain, which is not the most ideal for Kyurem, as Kyurem really likes both of those things. So, but however, we now know that we can tank another hit from this Enamorus, so we can safely fire off pretty much anything we want to here. I can't remember what I do here. I think I just straight up fire a Freeze Dry. No, I fire off a Stone Edge just to KO this thing, which is exactly what ends up happening. And I actually outspeed this, which I don't remember happening. How do I outspeed this? I actually am not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't know how I outsped there. I'm confused. Okay, I'm looking the footage back, maybe I swapped to Choice Scarf and completely forgot, which is definitely actually very likely that I changed it to a Scarf, even though that makes no sense on Trick Room, so I'm a little bit confused on that. Maybe I'll put something in the edits or something like that. But regardless, we see Scizor coming in here, and I realize here that I don't really have any great switches for this thing, now that Galarian Weezing is dead. So again, I'm not playing my Sax well, I'm not playing my switches well, I'm not playing to the best of my ability here. Obviously, I do want to save Husk, because again, in Trick Room, Kyurem looks really nice. I switch in Steampunk here, who is unfortunately going to take a decent chunk from a Bullet Punch, and by decent chunk, I mean not that much, but the unfortunate thing here is that Scizor actually will outspeed me. Thankfully, that doesn't matter because my opponent switches into Tentacruel. I can't remember whether I click Overheat or Earthquake here, predicting a switch. I guess we'll see in a second. So we see the Scizor withdraw, and my opponent brings in Tentacruel next. So I can't remember exactly what I do here. I just clicked Steam Eruption for a neutral play. Again, I think I was predicting something else to come in instead of the Tentacruel. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think that... Oh, the Trick Room was still up. I'm an idiot. I'll cut that entire part out then. I completely forgot the Trick Room was still up. I'm a silly boy. I am just a silly boy. Thankfully, Tentacruel does not kill me, but he does knock off my Expert Belt, which means that Tentacruel will be able to barely survive this Earthquake from Volcanion, which is very sad. It would have been very cool to see that set pop off, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And now my opponent can pretty much fire off whatever they want to here, as I am now just standing here with my Volcanion, and it dies. So now there are major threats, mainly Scizor, that is looking very tough for us to beat. I have to be really careful moving forward. Here's where I send in Dig, because there's no really better time to send in Dig than now, as Tentacruel will underspeed, it's trapped, it can't do anything. This is a free KO for Dugtrio. So my opponent clicks Flip Turn as I click Earthquake, very obvious play. You know, just pick up a KO with Dugtrio while I can. And unsurprisingly, my opponent brings back in Dragonfly. So, Flygon, unfortunately I can't really do anything to Flygon. If this was a Boom Burst set, then that would have been very terrifying, as I didn't have Throat Chop. But perhaps that's why my opponent didn't bring Boom Burst in the first place, because Dugtrio gets Throat Chopped. It's also worth noting that Flygon is not stuck in this is not trapped thanks to Levitate, so it can just freely switch out if it wants to. I click Night Slash here, hoping for a crit. We don't get the crit, unfortunately, and the Flygon just clicks Earth Power. Here, I can't remember exactly what I do next. I could definitely see me just letting this thing go down, and I think that is ultimately what I do here. I think I just fire off another Night Slash, and then from here, I let myself die through Memento, as now I'm kind of realizing I need to aim for the endgame sweep with Berserker. Unfortunately, Scizor is nowhere near low enough to where I can really make this set work, but it's like the one chance I've got to actually make Trick Room pop off in the first place. So I actually just straight up fire off Memento here. I think I was fearing either a high roll or a crit. So the Flygon ends up, just staying in. We die to Memento, and, Flygon just goes for an Earth Power, which doesn't land on anything. And I think here is where I bring in the Galarian Slowking and fire, or not Galarian Slowking, regular Slowking, and fire off another Trick Room. So Flygon goes for a U-turn as Slowking comes in, and I believe my opponent ends up going back into the either Chi-Yu or Scizor. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Chi-Yu, I want to say, especially now that Dugtrio is dead. Yes, it is going to be the Chi-Yu, the small bug, which is a very cute nickname, I must say. I approve. And we set up our Trick Room once again. I really think this team, you know, is extremely good under Trick Room, especially versus this particular opponent. I definitely think I should have played it around better. There's definitely a lot of misplays on my part looking back in hindsight. Thankfully, we do not get flinched from this Chi-Yu's. Never mind, we do get flinched. That is pretty unfortunate that we got flinched there. I forgot that happened because that pretty much means that we cannot set up another Trick Room after this. It is very sad. Either that or I switch out to sack off Kyurem, but I can't really do that because Kyurem is Kyurem. I need Kyurem. At least that's like my mindset moving forward during this game. It's very hard for me to tell what to do here. I forgot that I got flinched there. I do think the flinch mattered considerably. I don't know if it would have saved me necessarily from this game, but it did definitely matter. So, as a result, we're going to bring in Berserker here, and Berserker is going to try and just claim lives. Will that actually happen? I don't know. Who knows? This battle is definitely not over, because Berserker, Terra Steel, Life Orb, Steely Spirit, Berserker kind of goes nuts. Alright, so my opponent ends up staying in and clicks Overheat, and we just go ahead and click the Terra Steel button because there is absolutely zero reason for us not to here. Because, you know, we might as well just try to hit everything as hard as we can. Right now, I'm kind of praying that Chi-Yu is not Focus Sashed. And thankfully it's not. It is actually the Shed Shell, which is a really, really cool tech. We do fire off the Close Combat, which does pick up the KO versus Chi-Yu. Very, very, very nice for us, as this Pokemon going down is very, very crucial for us winning this game. Obviously, we want all the Pokemon to go down here, but unfortunately, this does bring in Scizor for free, which does have Close Combat. This Scizor was just such a fantastic set. Bullet Punch and Bug Bite to help with Technician. I believe there was Roost there as well. And then Close Combat for things like Berserker. There was really nothing that it was Tailwind. My apologies, Tailwind. There was just really nothing that I could do versus Scizor. And I think I definitely threw my early game walls early, being Volcanion and the Galarian Weezing. And even like Galarian Weezing, even though like it's weak to Steel and like Bullet Punch, it can still take it like decently well. Here I'm obviously hoping for a flinch, and watch how much this does. That's a crap ton of damage. Scizor is surprisingly bulky. That's a crap ton of damage. Unfortunately, we do not get the flinch, and it wouldn't have mattered anyways, as Trick Room goes down here, and Scizor would just be able to pick me off with another hit. So that is quite unfortunate, but Berserker's reign does come to an end here. It is very, very, very sad. And now all we have left is Kyurem, and it's pretty obvious that we have lost this game. I think Bullet Punch actually can just take me out from here. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure that it can. So, yeah. I definitely did not play this battle that well, at least compared to, like, my games in the NBBL. This was definitely very much me trying to get used to my team and failing miserably, at least for this game. That's not to take away from how good Jakeeb's team is and how well he prepped and played versus me. Dude is just a fantastic battler in general, and I have to salute him. He very much deserved that 3-0 victory. But yeah, I remember playing that game and just kind of realizing, like, there's a lot, like, I don't know how well these Pokemon work together. Like, on paper, they work really, really well together, and I know I can make them work extremely well. Again, Trick Room would have been phenomenal had I actually played better, but there was just, I was still trying to learn how, like, my team worked, in a way, in the battle, and that's the worst time to try to learn when your team, like, how your team works. Like in the NBBL, for example, I got to the point, and the SDA actually, like second way through the season, I eventually like started picking up. Like I didn't do well at the beginning of the season, and then I would pick up and learn more and more about how to use my team, how to prep my team, and how to take advantage of all of the pieces that I have on my team. That's why, you know, you see the SDA come back in the previous season of the SDA, where I went from 1-4 to a 5-4 and barely made playoffs. That's also why in the NBBL, for example, you'll see the placement there. This video is going up before the week 8 of NBBL will, but you'll see there, you know, just how powerful my team is during the second half, even compared to the first half, even though I started picking up steam long before the first half ended. So that's something I really struggle with. That's also why I say I have the week 1 curse. All, like 99% of my game, maybe not 99, 95% of the games that I play for a week 1 game, I lose. And it's just because I'm getting used to the Pokemon I have, I'm getting used to the pieces I have, I'm still trying to learn exactly what those pieces do, and it can be very challenging and sometimes overwhelming even, but I'm very excited for this team. I will say, with this battle in particular, I think I've learned that this team has a lot of hidden potential that I just need to take advantage of, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. But yeah, with all that being said, GG's again to my opponent Jakeeb, a very, very fantastic game. I also hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not saying your name right, I am so sorry. But if you guys enjoyed, thank you guys, first off, so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, then please, please, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really, really does help the channel grow a ton. Also, be sure to, once again, check out my opponent Jakeeb down in the description below. Thank you again so much for letting me use your footage for my video. I really, really do appreciate that. His link will be down in the description below, along with his side of the battle, which I believe is already up as of the time of this video going live. So definitely, definitely, definitely be sure to check out his side of the battle. I'm very excited to see his response to Trick Room and everything like that. And, yeah, definitely be sure to check out our previous games, as well as the SDA and the NBBL if you haven't already, along with my main channel and NUZLOCKE content if you want more content from me. If you want to show some support financially and even earn some unique perks, then please be sure to check out my Ko-Fi, link down in the description below, as it really, really does help me out a crap ton. But with all that being said, I'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace out, mates!